This is Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, and Everything in Between, with your hosts, Sarita Patel and Latham Woodward. Welcome to episode 1 of Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, and Everything in Between. This episode is entitled The Revelation. Enjoy. We're coming back to you with a new focus, and the new project is called Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, and Everything in Between. Welcome back to the show, Sarita. Nice to have you back.
Hey, Latham. It's nice to be back.
Well, it is nice to be back, and it's nice to be recording. And we've decided to harness some of the anger that both of us have been experiencing over some incidences over the last year. And I think our audience is going to be very interested in what we have to say. Why don't you start us off with maybe the big one in our recent past? Let's just call him the Barnum and Bailey soil guy. Let's talk about that guy.
Well, can I do something a little bit different? Sure. And we will get to that circus master. But you know the show called Gilligan's Island,
Sure.
Right? Okay, so I just pulled up Gilligan's Island on Google. And it says Gilligan's Island follows a group of 7 castaways, including the bumbling first mate, Gilligan, and the ship's captain, who are all stranded on an uncharted island after a storm during a 3-hour tour.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, bum. So the castaways include the skipper, who's the captain of the SS Minnow, Gilligan, the bumbling first mate, known for mishaps, Mr. and Mrs. Howell, the wealthy, eccentric couple, Ginger Grant, a movie star, Marianne Summers, a farm girl, and the professor, a scientist. Now, I just bring that up for a little bit of a backdrop.
Sure.
And, let's talk about the soil guy.
Well, let's talk about the soil guy, but I want to ask you a question first. What the hell was Mr. Howell doing with a chest full of money on his 3-hour tour?
Well, that's what I want to know.
It never made sense.
It never made sense. And so when we were watching that show as kids,
right,
we got kind of used to all these characters being on the island and having these mishaps. But I don't know. So the show explores themes of survival, cooperation, and the contrast between the castaways' previous lives of luxury and their new challenging reality. Does that sound like today or what?
It does.
Okay.
It sounds like our new reality hitting us every day right in the face.
Exactly. So then it says, the show ended without a rescue episode, leaving the castaways stranded on the island.
It's unfortunate they're all dead right now, but it would have been interesting to find out what happened to those poor people.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, it would have been. But they're somewhere in the South Pacific with bones and somewhere in the Sandwich Islands.
So what I love about just using Gilligan's Island as, a metaphor for what we're talking about. I mean, Ginger Grant, the movie star, represents how a lot of people right now are actors, not just our politicians.
True.
Not just our elected officials. We've got a lot of people who were trained as actors, and when their role is called, they go.
Yeah, they do.
Right? So
let's talk about the Soil King, Barnum and Bailey, as I call him, the Svengali of the northern Sacramento, California area. Let's talk about that Voldemort freak. And we won't use his name because we don't like saying his name anymore because he's a advanced form of band leader. Let's just call him that.
Boy, you just spoiled. You're like the you spoiled it for everybody. But I think it's important to start off with saying that this is like a tell-all tale. And I think there will be more and more of these types of tales in different shapes and forms, because that's what happens when we're in times of great equitable divide, you want to call it. Main Street and Wall Street are really separated right now. So it's about survival. And people are showing their true selves in those times of survival. So the soil guy really came to me after he had seen me on a Zoom call, and he called me up and he said, I think you can help me. You're the kind of person who really seems to get a lot of stuff done. he didn't really know where I had worked before, but he had seen me on, just talking to different CEOs and marketing people on this group Zoom call. So I got a chance for him to talk to me about this really incredible natural way to remineralize soil using rock powder dust.
Yeah, it was interesting. That's what got me involved too, was just the fascinating kind of save the earth mantra that he was, proselytizing.
Yeah.
It was very cool. The messaging was amazing. And quite frankly, he delivered it like a master, he really did. He actually made it seem like he invented this stuff, which we both know is not, in fact, the case.
Well, we found out he didn't invent it.
True.
Because after we had gotten enough very smart people around the country involved in this project who had committed their time, who had organized potential investors, who had come up with strategies, who would think about potentially leaving their jobs or their companies, because that's the other piece of it. We're running into a lot of people who really want to make a shift and have their lives have meaning and purpose.
We assembled a dream team.
We did.
We assembled a dream team of people who wanted to change not only their earth but their own path forward. We assembled a dream team of investors. And with people who believed in us, which we, after we had to do the exposure, was not a pleasant day, in general.
It was not a pleasant day. And
No.
I don't know if you recall, but there were probably 3 or 4 days where you and I were both on the phone with dozens of people every day, kind of getting down to the bottom of it.
Yep.
So that we were objectively looking at the entire picture.
Yeah, and I think we should tell the life lesson that we both learned in this whole thing, and that was, if you're involved in a business on the developmental side, whether it's fundraising or getting people to work for you, and your principal tells you, here's a list of people don't call because they're not my friends in this business, you might want to call them.
Well, that's a red flag.
It's a
right?
red flag.
If somebody says, oh, don't bother with that person because, they're really not ethical and they're not honest. And that's the one thing our soil guy would say. He goes, I'm a God-fearing Christian.
Yeah, that's right. He stood behind that, didn't he?
He did.
He held that right in front of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was a lot. I mean, as someone who grew up in the Christian faith, and you take, people who say that, is like, okay, well, maybe this guy's pretty serious about it, But he was just using it as something to hide behind.
Well, and look at this. Like, you and I both, we already knew that was a cautionary sort of flag for us. And yet the way he delivered it, it literally bypassed my brain. And I just thought, this is an honest man.
The charisma got you.
The charisma.
It got everybody. Everybody in the chain that we introduced, the charisma got it.
Right. So he was doing his job, which was he was acting the part, and he played it brilliantly.
He certainly was. Which is really, at my age, your age, it's like, wow, this shit is still happening. These advanced scams aren't just from the past. They're not something from movies from the 1930s. They're right here, right in front of us. And I don't want to dwell too much on this one because we've got other ones to talk about, and we can get deeper into these things later if we really want to go like individual episode. But which other scammer we want to talk about now? Do you want to talk about the cinema scam?
Yeah, but I want to say one more thing about the soil.
Yeah.
Because, we had taken that to a level to even get involved with the government and farm bills and lawyers who could make things happen.
And friends.
And friends. And you and I invested a ton of our time and money.
Much more than me, but oh my God, it was a lot of time. It was a shocking amount of time.
Yep.
It was just not something that we could just write off. It was a big investment in time.
Huge. And so we made a big investment on the product that could actually, not a product, a process that could actually help with the nutritional value of our food, which is in the soil. So I still care about that. But it is the fact that just like all the nonprofits that are being questioned right and left, that have been operating in a way to appeal to our emotions, we care about making humanity a better species. We care about our earth. You
True.
should too. So this isn't just us falling for an actor. This is literally so pervasive in the background frequency. And as things are rapidly changing, again, this goes back to that whiplash episode.
Yeah.
We're going to see this. So it's not just this is a bad investment and we did incorrectly. This is literally becoming louder.
Yeah, but I think both you and I went through a real round of depression after this, right?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just a financial loss. It was the loss of the ability to actually do something very positive for humanity. And the people that we enjoined in this effort, the people who are, whether they're investors or farmers in the Midwest, like our good friend, Mr. Rafferty, it's like we got our dream team together to help the world, right? And it just turns out a sociopath doesn't give a shit about that.
Doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't give a shit.
Also, I have to say that he was really interested in something that we didn't know was the byproduct, and that was gold.
Oh, right.
That was the real
right.
thing. It was the baseline of greed that underlied this entire thing. That was the gold bug, because the offshoot of some of these processes was gold.
Right. So listeners, one thing that came up in this is, yes, there was a component that was mineralizing the soil, but there was another byproduct that he had brought up, and he had a technique to actually harvest gold that the state of California wasn't allowed to touch. So
mine tailings.
Right, mine tailings. And I'm not a gold bug. I don't go looking for gold. I mean, I know about it. But a couple of people had said to me, you got to be careful with these people. Does he have a gold, bug? And I said, I don't think so.
I asked you that.
Yeah, you did. So that's what he had. And when we uncovered everything, that was really it.
It was definitely a large component of it. And he never, ever went down that road to really go explain that a lot. It's like, oh, sure, that's part of this. Is great. It's extra money, blah, 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 But the reality was I don't think he gave a shit about saving the earth.
No, not really. And, the other thing that we found out is the state already had complaints about him, but they were not publicly available.
Right.
So even if we had done a simple Google search, we could have found out a lot, but it was hidden, buried, taken off the internet. So that's another thing for people to really pay attention to right now.
Yep.
Is background checks and security checks are not like what they used to be.
No, I think anybody who's getting into some venture, they need to do due diligence. And that's, it's typical when you're a banker or something and you're looking to a business, you're going to do due diligence, but it's easier for the regular person to do now. And if you take time to do it, it's going to be worth it because you don't want to get screwed in the end. I do think we want to go into this later on another episode, because we could talk for hours about this whole thing. And so do you want to talk about the cinema guy next, or you want to talk about...
Yeah, let's talk about the cinema guy.
Yeah. We should also talk about the...
Antique?
Yeah, let's talk about that one. That was a horrible one.
It's like, which one do you want to start with first?
Yeah. It's just like scams are just running rampant right now. And it's just so bizarre to me that all these people are such sociopaths. They just do it, right? So let's talk about the cinema guy. It's about a film that you were involved in. We won't name names right now because it'll come out eventually. But it's about, again, someone telling you to invest in something to tell an amazing tale that needed to get told, right? Is that the best way to say it?
Well, yeah, this was a film that was taking quite a while to get across the finish line.
Yes.
And
for massive release in theaters everywhere.
Right.
And it actually came out briefly.
It came out briefly.
Yep.
So this director's dream came true. His independent film actually hit the theaters,
Right.
actually went to Cannes Film Festival. You know, everything every filmmaker dreams about, like, happened for this guy.
Oh my God, amazing. Really?
I know.
All his dreams came true. Unfortunately, at the expense of everyone around him.
At the expense of everyone. So this guy this guy and his group had some creative language that they used. And what basically, if I were to sum it up, they were collecting money from multiple people, not informing all of the entire group that there were multiple investors.
Who later are listed as producers.
Who were later listed as producers.
A fascinating array of 30 plus.
I've never seen a film with that many producers.
Yeah, for those of you listening who don't know who Sarita is, she's been involved in film business for a long time. You can do your own research on that, but she's seen producers in their credits before, and this was unusual to say. And I'm not even in the film business, and I was like, wow, there sure are a lot of producers on here.
Well, and, you know, I have to say this because I was employed in the film industry, but you've heard me say over and over and over again, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm not a producer.
You're not an investor.
I'm not an investor.
You've seen that ugly side.
Oh, boy.
Right.
So, like, I think what happened to me in this one was by my helping out, which was a short-term thing before a real investor came in, and the sociopath was never going to return my money the way they said they would.
Why would they?
Why would they? But see, I don't think like that. Now,
It's already spent somewhere.
it's already spent somewhere.
He spent it on something,
Mm-hmm.
and his cohort, that waifish,
Be
dark-haired
nice.
woman.
Just be nice.
I'm not gonna-
There's always a Bonnie and a Clyde.
I'm not going to say too much. But you know the funny thing about Bonnie and Clyde, at the end, they got shot to death in their old car in a tear-jerking scene because you fell in love with those two, didn't you? You just fell in love with them through the movie. It was like, oh, these two rapscallions ripping off people and banks. Those banks don't need that money. Yeah, poor Bonnie and Clyde. What a shitty end. And I cried and I cried and I cried. That was a long time ago, though.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, so
So maybe this
scammers-
needs to be the new, the new refurbished version of Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, we don't wish any ill will toward these people in terms of getting
No.
Tommy gunned to death
No.
by sheriffs from 45
No.
departments. No, that'd be horrible.
No.
No, that's awful.
I would rather have the laundry list of what they've spent their money on, posted.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot of massages and trips to Bermuda.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like expensive shit that you put in your living room that you're like, I got that from some Indian tribe in Africa, and they only made 4 of them last year,
Okay.
and I've got 1 of them because it's great. Isn't that a pile of dung over it? Yeah, it's very expensive dung, though. Very, very expensive.
Very expensive.
And it's on the list of shit that you paid for and other people paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from my standpoint as a layperson coming into it and seeing this investment schemes that go on in the movie, and this isn't the only one, right? There's a current one with this fellow, I can't remember his last name. He's very much in the news right now. And how he just frittered away Netflix $11 million over 2 years because he couldn't find a job. And his wife was taking all his money. So he decided to spend all the money, the $11 million. And never made anything. And now they're suing him. He's like, oh, I'm broke now. Well, you weren't before. You had Netflix money.
Well, and, to that, I didn't read the entire article.
I did.
Okay, I knew you would. Because I also know that not every article tells both sides. And what I think is the important piece here is how out of whack the entertainment industry has gotten, that people actually get paid those kinds of sums to entertain people,
I know, it's crazy.
right? So even if you just look at that, like, I don't know the guy, and I don't understand those kinds of expenses, a $400,000 bed, but I do know that they exist.
They're nice beds, though. I mean, I don't know what they do to you at night, but it must be fantastic.
It's the horse, made of horse hair.
Really?
Yeah. But,
from Lippinzahner stallions.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's it.
Hand plucked by
so
small children somewhere.
I mean, this is what happens. And, my old boss used to say, the kiss of death is the addiction to a lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if we look at that article, which is pretty blastful, and a regular person reading that who doesn't even know that beds like this exist, but they do exist in this other world that has been created and is very seductive. And I'm grateful that I saw that, never became of it, saw people become of it, and you literally watch their whole, they change. They change when they get lured into that lifestyle.
It's the tingling of that horsehair on your back at night. It's like, wow, it's effervescent. It gets you high. Ugh. No, getting used to your lifestyle is a death knell. It's one of those things that's like, well, who's going to pay my masseuse if I don't? Right? You feel obligated, I guess, or you feel like you're entitled, and it's so weird. And I know people like this. You know people like this. It's just they won't do without. They will not.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah, so it's funny when you and I talk about these things because you're saying it in a way that's true. They won't do without. And then I often look at it from the other perspective, which is there's an industry out there that literally earns their living by providing these services.
Oh, yeah.
To these folks, right? And they're not often super well paid.
No.
But it beats working at a massage parlor in town making $13 an hour when you can make, potentially $300 an hour. So
right.
It's this out of whack balance. And when we see Wall Street and Main Street literally creating this, then we've got a whole lot of human behavior that's showing up in its ugliest form.
Right. So that is, to drag it back to the movie thing and this whole, this advanced scam. I mean, the one thing in this scam that is unlike most, this movie got made. It's a fairly decent movie. I mean, it's okay, right? And it's an interesting story. But the whole Hollywood math behind it is criminal. I mean, I'm just going to say criminal in quotations because I don't know. I'm not an attorney. Neither are you. We're just going to say that it's very weird. It's a weird way to do the old Hollywood net thing. Like, I'm going to deduct these postage stamps and this piece of gum that I found on the ground. Everything gets deducted and there's no money left. Lord knows you haven't been paid back, and Lord knows a whole bunch of people haven't been paid back.
Right.
So that's problematic. Now, because we want to just kind of generally touch on these scams, because we're going to continue this series, Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, and everything in between, for other episodes. So let's talk about...
Wait, can I just add one thing to the Hollywood thing?
Of course.
Because before we go on to the antique potentially, and that is construction accounting has gotten as weird as movie accounting.
Yeah, it definitely has, especially in this state where everything's expensive. I mean... And
there's layers of people. I can't even figure out who does what, but I'm just bringing that up to say that as these industries paid out and became so celebrity-like to market and to move us into a lifestyle.
Oh, there's a guy on YouTube, that I stumble across occasionally. He's always showing these gazillion-dollar houses, right? 30 million, 40 million. He's kind of interesting. I mean, he's got a certain flair to him. But then, you see these houses in Malibu, which may have been burned down now, unfortunately, and you're like, who the hell needs 12,000 feet? I mean, why?
Well, remember I said to you I was working with that client in Atherton, and they lived in I think a 12,000 square foot house, and they were building a new house down the road that was going to be around 48,000 square feet.
Well, I can see that you need to expand. I mean, Jesus, 12,000. I mean,
Come on, that's a cabin.
yeah,
that's an outhouse.
No, outhouse, exactly.
So I asked her. I said, "So let me ask you something. You're saying that you want a very simple lifestyle, that you guys are really down to earth, and you don't need much." And I said, "So can I just ask you, like, why would you be building a 48,000 square foot house? I'm not judging you. I'm really honestly asking." And she said, "Oh no, that's fine." And she goes, "You know, it's because we can. When we are given this type of responsibility, we can, and we should." And she said it with such
gravitas.
That was her truth. Like, that's what she believes, that it's her responsibility.
Yeah, I guess it is.
It is.
Well, and then you could just get matching golf carts made of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you did need to use the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
you could get from your garage in the 48,000 square foot house and just go to the 12,000 square foot house and use that as your bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Like 8 in the world.
Well, did you hear
Jesus.
Did you hear that we have a housing shortage and we need to build all this, shitty affordable housing?
Well, they're doing it. They're building another house.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I know.
Good for them.
I know. They need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they worked really hard.
It's
They just need it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay? It is tough.
It is.
Okay. So let's talk about antiquing. Oh, and this whole thing about, there's these websites online. We're not going to name them, but there's 2 very prominent websites, and you can go there and you can buy very expensive antiques and weird things and object art and things like that, where you can just shop at your leisure when you're drinking in Manhattan at night, and you can click on a button and it will be delivered to you in a crate that you never open, in a warehouse you've never seen, by people you don't know.
So let's back up.
Sure.
For somebody who, say you buy something off Amazon or Etsy, and that product comes to your house and you open it and you use it.
You're a normal person.
That's a normal person.
Right. You need that thing. It's a peeler. You need to peel your potatoes.
Right.
Okay.
So I have been on these websites shopping for clients before, where they say, I'm looking for a buffet table. It's around these dimensions. So I'll search all the websites and then print out what's available. Right. And then, we'll do you like any of these? Yes, no. And it's a thoughtful episode. And it beats driving or flying somewhere. Sometimes it's easier to find things online.
Sure.
So that's common. Designers use it also. But then there are the people who are like addicted to shopping online, and there are sites now that cater to this, knowing that people do that. And the folks who do this kind of addictive shopping often are doing it at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning after a couple of cocktails. And when the item does arrive, it is often not opened because, say, a month later, the client forgot they even ordered it.
And it was big, and it had to take a long time to ship this.
Right. So that does happen. I know that there's a lot of people who can't even imagine that happening, but it happens more than you'd imagine.
Well, if you are ordering a giant golden elephant made by hand by artisans in Delhi, it takes time to get it here.
It does take time.
It does take time. And it's important that it takes time because they're going to handle it right.
Right.
Maybe. Anyway, we all know the answer to that. They don't handle it right.
Well, I've opened up crates because I had experience where you better open up the crate as soon as it arrives.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there is damage to it, then you want to, contact the...
March it down to Whole Foods and return it.
Right.
Right? Like on Amazon.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about this particular...
Okay.
And I'm not involved in this. I just have been chirping in your ear about it. But so let's go ahead.
Well, so there is sorry, I'm stuttering because it's like so disjointing to me. But there is an online antique company that I've been working with for quite some years.
It's a while, like 7 years, right?
Yeah, probably.
Or longer, right?
But it started right before COVID. So what is that, 5-6 years ago now?
Almost 6, yeah.
Right. And the idea of buying antiques online it sounded really great, especially if it was by a designer who is familiar with this. And then when COVID hit and, the in-store shopping experience was shut down, it seemed like a very natural transition for antique dealers to hop on to this so that they
Could
wouldn't
keep their
lose
business
customers.
going, right?
And there were people who had to pivot quickly and figure it out, or they were shutting down. There were quite a few old antique stores in the UK and even here in the United States that did shut down when, COVID happened. A lot.
Yeah.
So, and antiques were made to last a lifetime plus.
Generational,
They
right.
were not just a one-time use only type of thing.
It's not IKEA.
Nope. So I got involved with this antique company that was the online, version of Christie's available to everybody. And they have been raising money for over 7 years now. And there's no product that is available to the masses like described 7 years ago. So in terms, here's an antique company, so it's very, bougie. These people are designers and architects, so these are the folks you don't question.
I've seen their very rudimentary website that doesn't seem to evolve at all.
It doesn't evolve at all.
Yep.
And, but people think that it is evolving and they like being affiliated with it because it is sophisticated. They have followings, with other antique people. They are sending out a message saying that they are the online, antique dealer, but they're not. But by saying that and having some kind of BS, movie kind of portfolio strategy to send to investors, there are investors who are investing money in this year after year after year, and there is still no product.
On promises.
On promises.
And
pretty pictures.
I really thought this was like 2010, right? And it's still going on. It's really, really weird. I don't know what to think about it. When you first told me about it, I was looking at great name, looks classy. The website does look a little old at this point, but there's nothing there. It's just vapor, right? Or at least you're not saying anything back.
I'm not seeing anything back.
No, who knows? We shall see, right? We shall see. These things will work themselves out. But we have other tales, but we're going to get into those in another episode because liars, cheats, thieves, and everything in between are everywhere. And they're not just in some far-flung land with people with accents and dodgy business practices. They're right here. So this is a cautionary tale. If we can get snookered, you can get snookered easily. Watch out for the Barnum and Bailey characters. Watch out for the people who proselytize and really thump whatever Bible they're thumping. That's what you have to watch out. If someone's too passionate about something, that should raise your antenna. So what do you think? Any parting words for this episode, Serena?
Yeah, I would say, talk to other people about the things you're getting involved with. I know there's a lot of messages about inner self-work and, spending time alone and or knowing your family. There's a lot of messages about how to take care of yourself, but I think we have to kind of go backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
Like really, and in people talk things over. People who don't have the same opinion, that doesn't mean that you are on opposite sides. It's like sometimes having another opinion is a valuable part of investigation.
Yeah.
And if we don't bring that back, I think a lot more people are going to get hurt and snookered.
Yep.
And,
Well, we also have to, it goes back to always do your due diligence. And when somebody tells you not to talk to somebody because of some weird personal thing, you might want to reach out to that person and talk to them. Because I remember some of those conversations we had with the people we weren't supposed to talk about really shed some interesting light on stuff.
Well, yes, they did. And remember, the truth has a frequency.
The truth is simple.
It's super simple.
That's the other thing that everyone should understand. I'm sure those of us in the audience who are of mature age, the truth is simple. Lies require so much. They require so many people's involvement. They require you to have an excellent memory. You know, you have to remember every detail of what you told one person and then corroborate that to every detail you told someone else. So the truth is always simple because it's what you tell is the truth. It'll come out easily and quickly. So until next time, where we're going to be exposing some other things in not only our lives and around us every day, we're going to talk about more things in general, in society in general. It could be banking, it could be investment, it could be gold, it could be silver, but it's going to be a little deeper than just philosophical. We're going to talk about some real things, and we invite you back. Thanks again. Sarita, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Latham. Always so fun.
Always so fun. We'll talk to you later, and have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode. This episode brought to you by Madmana Studios in San Anselmo, California. You can reach us by emailing us at Latham, Latham, at madmanastudios.com. We respond to all emails and love to get your feedback. Until next time, this is Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, and everything in between. The views expressed on this podcast are solely those of our guest. This is also intended for entertainment purposes only. Names have been changed where necessary. This podcast is copyrighted by Madmana Studios 2025. All rights reserved.